Hey guys, it's Caleb with Tender Care Lawn Service. Just wanted to make a quick video, like I promised yesterday, on some of the different types of weeds. So we have the most common weeds that you're going to find in your yard here in Southwest Louisiana, and I'll go over a few of these today. But I also wanted to point out some of the literature that we use here at Tender Care Lawn Service. This is the importance that we put on actually identifying the weeds and targeting specific weeds. We actually look up and reference these books almost every time we go out to a yard to make sure that we are identifying the specific weed in your yard and we're targeting that weed with the correct chemical. So the first, and I'll be referencing this weed guide throughout the video. Any questions, feel free to comment. The first weed that we have that we see a lot, and it's the most difficult normally to kill, is Viginia Buttonweed. And there's a lot of misconceptions with Viginia Buttonweed. This is what it kind of looks like. This, as it matures, it's going to have a white flower on it. But when it starts out, it's of course green. It kind of blends in with the grass. You'll have the white flowers, and as this weed starts to progress and starts to actually die and mature, or mature and then die, it turns a purplish color. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it in the yards, but this one for sure is the most difficult to kill. Our 7-step program does kill this specific weed. It actually kills all of these weeds on the board. Your regular Scots or regular weed and feed will not do a very good job at killing this specific weed. And so that's for sure one you need to take a look at. It will spread throughout your yard, and I've seen where it really just takes over your grass, and it can smother out the grass. And so if you do have Viginia Buttonweed in your yard, you do want to address that very quickly. The second one that I'll go over is the Geranium. This specific weed, of course, all of these weeds somewhat blend in with the grass, and you're gonna recognize all of these weeds, and you're gonna recognize that you probably all have them in some place in your yard. This specific weed, the lifespan is not very long, but it will take over your yard. It will spread very rapidly. It's very easy to kill. So this specific weed, your weed and feed will probably do a decent job at killing this one. But again, it spreads very rapidly. So this specific weed, you're going to want to address it. And if it's in the yard, you're going to want to address the whole yard. You're going to want to broadcast whatever chemical you have, weed and feed, across the whole yard to make sure that this doesn't spread anymore. And the same for a few other ones that I'll go over. That's pretty much it for Geranium, but it's pretty common. You're going to see it throughout your yard. Another one is Crabgrass. I had this actually in my yard this season. Crabgrass is fairly easy to manage, but it will spread and it will pop up in a lot of different places. There's several different varieties, but this is the variety that you're probably going to see the most. Again, it's fairly easy to kill. Your typical weed and feed will do a decent job at this. A lot of the chemicals that you can use to kill some of this stuff, you can use weed and feed that you buy at Lowe's, and it'll address some of these things. A couple other chemicals, 2,4-D, you can also use MSM turf, but any chemicals that you ever put on your yard, I recommend that you always go to a lawn professional and talk to them about what you're about to put on your ground and the rate that you're going to put it on your ground before you actually do it. Because it's very important to know the rate you're going to go at on which specific chemical. But Crabgrass, it blends in with your grass, especially St. Augustine. It looks like St. Augustine, just maybe a little bit broader, a little bit darker color sometimes, but it's fairly common. So we'll go to Dollarweed, and I know everyone has seen Dollarweed in their yard. I was lucky enough not to have it in mine this year, but Dollarweed, very, very, very common. You're going to see it in just about everyone's yard at some point. but it's a little circular leaf. It'll also blend in with the grass fairly easily, but this one is very easy to control, very easy to kill, and it will spread rapidly. So this is another one. If you do have it in the yard, you're going to want to address the whole yard, not a specific area. Broadcast it out, whatever chemical you have, and address that throughout the whole yard. All right, we'll move to Spurge. Let's find it on here so you can see it. Spurge is a little bit different. It's got some different colors on it. It's not just green. It's got a few different colors, some distinctive color to it. It's a little bit darker green, but also the base of it is kind of a reddish color, and so you'll see it in some of the bare spots in your yard. If you're new construction and you don't have sod down, you didn't hydro seed, and you have where a lot of sunlight's going to hit in some rich soil, you'll probably see this pop up. It's common. Your typical chemicals will also kill this, and it's something that'll just kind of pop up here and there. It's not normally something that you'll find throughout the whole yard, but again, any of the specific weeds that you have, you're going to want to go ahead and broadcast to make sure that they haven't spread to other areas. And so we'll move to clover. Clover, everyone has. Everyone has clover. This specific clover that I have a picture of is yellow clover, but there's definitely different varieties to it. And this also is a weed that you're going to see in a lot of people's yards. Simple to kill. Your typical weed and feed will do just fine with killing clover. Another one, this one's a little bit tougher to kill, which is Kyllinga, or also a form of NutSedge. So we'll turn to page 45, and once I show you what it is, you'll recognize it, and you'll know for sure you've seen it before. But the base of it is, it kind of looks like a strand of grass. It looks kind of like a strand of grass, maybe a darker green color, and it also has like little burrs on top of it. They're normally a little bit lighter color, a yellowish, a greenish, but again, you'll see it. This one is a little bit harder to kill. Your typical Scott's weed and feed or your typical chemicals may not kill it the first time. It's a little bit tougher. So if you have that sort of weed in your yard, you may want to contact a professional or get professional advice on how to kill this specific one. It will spread very rapidly. I had some in my yard, and fortunate enough, we have some of the chemicals to kill some of that, so I was able to control it before it got out of control. But again, guys, thanks for watching. But this is the most common weeds you're probably going to see in your yard. Of course, you're going to see more. You may see less. But again, if you have any concerns with any of these weeds, please feel free to reach out to us, contact our office. If you are wanting to put chemical down and you want professional advice, please let us know. You can call us at 313-3002. Thanks, guys.